I don't think you all are waiving the enhancement. Is that correct?
Judge, we're moving forward for 1 year state jail to proceed as a state jail felony.
I mean, this is a state jail felony, correct? Because in the indictment, it's only alleging that he ran away from an officer, which is not a felony.
That's correct.
So then the enhancement allegation is being used to make it a state jail.
Correct.
So y'all proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
I'm sorry for the misunderstanding.
Oh, no problem.
I thought there was a repeated allegation.
That's okay. Maybe I was thinking the law maybe had changed and I wasn't aware. All right. So y'all are proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Vidari, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of evading arrest, detention, second or more? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to two years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. After reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find.
All right, guys, buckle up because this courtroom session begins in a surprisingly calm and orderly way. At first glance, everything seems routine as the judge carefully reviews the case and confirms the charge, making sure every legal requirement is properly addressed before moving forward. Although the opening appears straightforward, there's a noticeable sense of tension beneath the surface. Every question and every response carries weight, signaling that the hearing is about to take a more serious turn. The atmosphere changes the moment the judge formally confirms the defendant's guilt. What started as a procedural process immediately becomes personal, as the focus shifts from legal formalities to the real-life consequences of the court's decision. From this point on, the courtroom takes on a much heavier tone. The discussion is no longer just about the case itself. It's about accountability, sentencing, and the impact this judgment will have on the defendant's future.
I would like to address the court himself.
All right. Yes.
Well, Your Honor, I know I made a mistake and a bunch of mistakes.
No, not mistakes. You made choices.
Made choices, yes. Made bad choices. I had surgery not too long ago. I had an abscess under my arm. I had surgery on my wrist. So I was out for like a month, no work. And that's why I was doing all this shoplifting, getting stuff for the house for me and my wife. I have 4 kids of my own. We adopted 2. We have a new apartment now.
So you adopted 2 children and you're out stealing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of hard just her doing it by herself. And I couldn't donate plasma, and I really didn't have the strength to do any type of work, and I just made wrong choices, like I said. But I do have a good support group. I do have a good job.
This is where the courtroom stops feeling like a routine legal proceeding and starts becoming deeply personal. The defendant finally speaks up, attempting to explain what led to this moment. He points to difficult circumstances, including recent surgery and ongoing financial struggles, hoping the court will understand the challenges he has faced. For a brief moment, the focus shifts from the charges to the person standing before the judge. The explanation adds an emotional layer to the hearing, giving viewers a glimpse into the defendant's perspective and the hardships he claims influence his decisions. The judge, however, quickly redirects the conversation. Rather than accepting those circumstances as justification, the judge makes a clear distinction. These were not simply unfortunate mistakes. They were conscious choices. That single point changes the tone of the hearing and reinforces the court's emphasis on personal responsibility. From here, the tension rises as the courtroom becomes a clash between explanation and accountability. It's a powerful moment that forces everyone watching consider where sympathy ends and responsibility begins.
All right. So what I know is when you adopt children through Child Protective Services, were they listed as special needs children or no?
No, it was my wife's niece. She
So what I know is when you adopt 2 children in the state of Texas, I don't know how they do it in other states, but I know in the state of Texas, what ends up happening is you get similar to a stipend for each child. So you are probably already getting about.
Yeah, we get like a good $1,000.
No, you get more than $1,000 because it's 2 children. Yeah. And not only do you get that, you get medical. And not only do you get that, those 2 children, I hope you all are encouraging them. They get to go to a state college for free.
Yes, they get all those benefits.
So they're getting benefits and you're stealing.
Yeah, I was stealing stuff, stupid stuff, like hygiene and stuff.
At this point, the courtroom takes a sharper turn as the situation begins to escalate. The judge focuses on a key contradiction in the defendant's explanation, bringing attention to details that challenge the reasoning he has offered. The discussion centers on the fact that the defendant has adopted children and receives assistance through support programs. Despite having access to that help, the judge questions why he still made the decision that brought him into court. As the exchange continues, the judge carefully addresses each part of the defendant's justification, pointing out inconsistencies and emphasizing personal responsibility. With every response, the courtroom grows more tense, and the defendant's explanations become increasingly difficult to defend. By this stage, the emotional tone has shifted noticeably. Any initial sympathy gives way to a stronger focus on accountability, making the consequences of the defendant's choices impossible to overlook.
No. I'm talking about the first time that you picked up an evading, which is what they're using for enhancement for this evading to make it a state jail felony. Did you have those children?
Yes. Well, yes. They're under my wife's, protective custody. Like, my wife is the one that, she got custody of them, not me. It was all her. Like children are under her care. I just help.
You just live there.
I just help to support,
And here's my other question. And mind you, this is a suitcase that I think needs to be unpacked. Here's my other question. So when she adopted the children, were you living in the home? That's a no. No, you were not. So what is happening?
This part of the hearing takes a closer look at the issue of responsibility. The judge begins asking detailed questions about the defendant's role within the household, seeking a clearer understanding of his level of involvement and the responsibilities he actually carries. As the conversation unfolds, it becomes clear that the defendant is not the primary guardian. His attempts to explain or minimize his role do little to ease the court's concerns. Instead, each answer prompts further questions and adds to the growing tension in the courtroom. The judge uses these details to build a broader picture of the situation. Rather than focusing on a single incident, the discussion shifts toward the defendant's overall conduct and the decisions that led him to this point. By the end of the exchange, the hearing feels less like it's about one isolated mistake and more like an examination of personal accountability and the pattern of choices that brought the defendant before the court.
You couldn't be there.
I couldn't.
And now you're there.
Yes. No,
And well, I guess CPS needs to check on that because the children are not in a great place with you being there.
Well,
and if you,
I am a good person.
Here's the thing. If you love her and if you love those children, you need not be in that household. Do you understand?
I mean, I do understand, but I am a good person. I don't plan on living like this the rest of my life. My dad is deacon for St. Dominic's Church. My mom's a school teacher,
Okay, I want you to listen to me carefully. Listen, here's the thing. I know you're trying to tell me how great you are, and I appreciate that. But I want you to listen to me carefully. If you love her, you will not live with her. And let me just tell you.
This is where the hearing reaches a major turning point. As the questioning continues, the judge uncovers information suggesting that the defendant was not supposed to be living at the residence during the adoption process. The revelation immediately changes the direction of the courtroom discussion and raises the stakes. Up to this point, the focus had largely been on the theft allegation. Now, the conversation expands to consider how the defendant's actions and living arrangements could have affected a much broader situation. The judge begins examining the potential impact those circumstances may have had on the household and the responsibilities involved. The judge's tone becomes noticeably firmer as the seriousness of the issue sinks in. Rather than viewing the case as a single offense, the court emphasizes the importance of maintaining a safe and stable environment for the children connected to the adoption process. From this moment forward, the hearing carries a much heavier weight. The discussion is no longer limited to the original charge, but centers on the wider consequences of the defendant's decisions and the responsibilities that come with protecting vulnerable children.
And those children are experiencing trauma because their parents' rights have been taken away from them. And they're trying to put them in a place that they think will be safe for them, where they can go to sleep at night without worrying about people picking up cases and police officers knocking on the door looking for people. Yeah. And when CPS studied her home for placement, you were not there. And I'm sure she told them, I don't have a man living here.
Yes.
And now what has happened is CPS is out of the picture because she's adopted the children. I know because I did CPS cases. She's receiving a stipend for both of those children. And sometimes they will even give you food stamps. At least that's what we called them when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Or WIC and all of that stuff.
Yes.
And it's not for that money to be supporting. How old are you?
36.
Not for that money to be supporting a 36-year-old. So if you love her and if you love those children, you will not be in that household until you get your life together, because otherwise,
We're getting married.
here's the thing. Otherwise, you know what's going to end up happening? CPS is going to come in because they're going to get a report and those children will be removed and they will have another trauma on top of trauma. Do you understand?
Yeah.
This is one of the most intense moments of the hearing. The judge delivers a firm and deeply emotional statement about the lasting effects of trauma and the importance of personal responsibility. Her words shift the focus beyond the immediate case, emphasizing the broader impact that adult decisions can have on vulnerable children. As the judge speaks, she reflects on the difficult experiences many children involved in the adoption system may have already endured. She stresses that children who have faced instability deserve a safe, secure, and supportive environment, not additional uncertainty caused by poor decisions. The atmosphere in the courtroom becomes noticeably heavier as the judge underscores the seriousness of the situation. The discussion moves beyond legal consequences and into the moral responsibility adults have to protect and care for the children who depend on them. By the end of the exchange, the judge's warning leaves a lasting impression. Her message is that every decision carries consequences, and when children are involved, those consequences can affect lives in profound and lasting ways. :
And I know I made wrong choices, but that's not me. That's not me.
I appreciate you telling me what you think I want to hear, but I would prefer the truth. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow your agreement. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility.
All right.
If I could, I would not give you any credit, but I'm going to give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration 715-544-722-015, 715-474-713-232, NIMAC number 740009.
Yeah.
We can go off the record. I'm going to say it for the final time. If you truly love her, if you truly love those children, you know you're not doing right. You should not be in their life. And guess what? CPS is going to get involved and they're going to remove those children. Do you understand?
I do understand that. I don't plan on getting in trouble anytime.
And just because you've adopted children, that doesn't mean that CPS can't come back and remove them. Do you understand?
I do understand that.
All right. Good luck to you.
I think
This is one of the most intense moments in the hearing, as the judge delivers a firm and deeply heartfelt message about trauma, responsibility, and the lasting impact of adult decisions. Her remarks go beyond the facts of the case, focusing instead on the well-being of the children whose lives could be affected. The judge speaks about the hardships these children may have already experienced before reaching a stable home. She emphasizes that children who have endured difficult circumstances deserve consistency, security, and adults who make choices that protect their future rather than place it at risk. At this stage, the courtroom discussion moves beyond legal arguments and into a broader conversation about moral responsibility. The judge makes it clear that caring for vulnerable children is a serious obligation, and that every decision made by the adults around them can have lasting consequences. By the end of her remarks, the message is unmistakable. The judge warns that reckless or irresponsible actions can jeopardize the stability and future of the children involved, underscoring just how much is at stake when those responsibilities are ignored.
September 9th, 2015, for a period of 5 years and extended for a total of 4. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Your Honor, on or about the 30th day of September 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Rose Padilla, departed Bexar County without the written permission of the court and or the supervision officer in violation of condition number 7.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Yes. True.
Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor.
And what are you all proposing that the court follow?
The proposal, Your Honor, was to continue on probation, extend for 1 year, and amend for probationer to pay at least $100 every 2 weeks for restitution.
Probation.
Your Honor, the original recommendation was for revocation. However, it does indicate that if the court wishes to continue to extend the 1 year, amend the probationer to pay at least $100 every 2 weeks for restitution.
How much is owed on restitution?
Your Honor, $78,775.98.
How much has she paid on restitution since she's been on since 2015?
$2,360.
As one hearing comes to an end, the courtroom moves straight into the next case without any pause. A new defendant steps forward, and the atmosphere shifts almost instantly as the judge turns attention to a different set of allegations. The new case centers on an alleged probation violation involving the defendant leaving the county without the required permission from the very beginning. It's clear that the court views compliance with probation conditions as a serious matter, setting the stage for another tense exchange. The transition between cases may seem sudden, but it reflects the fast-paced nature of courtroom proceedings. One matter is concluded, and the next begins immediately, with little time for anyone to reset before another important hearing is underway. The judge wastes no time establishing the seriousness of the situation. With a firm and focused tone, the court begins examining the alleged violation, making it clear that the conditions of probation are expected to be followed closely and that any departure from those terms will receive careful scrutiny.
Incapable of making any other payments aside from the ones that are recommended for the $100 every 2 weeks.
All right, why is she leaving the county without permission?
So she was, there's a healing mass that occurs in Hidalgo County on the last Saturday of every month. That's where she went. She felt called to go there. It's something that she's had a significant benefit from in the past. And so she'd heard about this mass and decided to attend that mass with her significant other.
All right, do phones not work? Does she have access to a phone?
I believe she does, Your Honor.
Why didn't she pick up the phone and call probation and say, hey, may I depart Bexar County to go for this? Because honestly, she hasn't been doing well on probation. I mean, that's why we're here. Probation is telling me they want a revocation. And in this court, normally it takes some doing for me to grant a revocation. So for probation to be asking for revocation when they know that normally if there is monetary issue, if there is a drug issue, usually I try to address those before we head down the road of revocation. So for them to be asking for revocation, that says something. So why didn't you pick up the phone and call probation and ask them if you could leave Bexar County to go to this event? You want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Rose Padilla.
All right, why didn't you call probation?
It wasn't a Saturday, and I thought, nothing was going to happen. Just me going and coming back.
You cannot leave Bexar County without permission while you're on probation.
As the hearing continues, the question becomes more focused and intense. The judge carefully examines the circumstances surrounding the alleged probation violation, asking the defendant to explain why she left the county without first obtaining permission. The defendant responds by saying that she traveled to attend a religious event, presenting her reason as the motivation behind her decision. While the explanation provides important context, it does not change the central issue before the court. The judge quickly redirects the discussion to the conditions of probation, emphasizing that those rules exist for a reason and are expected to be followed regardless of personal intentions. The court makes it clear that compliance with probation requirements is not optional, even when the purpose of the trip may seem understandable. This exchange highlights the difference between good intentions and legal responsibility. The judge stresses that the court must evaluate whether the terms of probation were followed, reinforcing the principle that explanations may provide context, but they do not automatically excuse a violation.
Are you able to pay this $100 every 2 weeks, or you're just saying that? Because let me just tell you why I'm asking that question. I find that when people are looking at potentially going to prison for 20 years, if people say, all right, we will agree to continue. If you pay $500 a week, you know what people will say? Well, I'm going to call this person and I'll pay $500 a week. So I want to know, can you really pay $100 every 2 weeks? Or are you just saying this because that's the agreement you all reach? Or will you be able to pay it? If you're not going to be able to pay it, you need to let me know now, because if I follow this agreement and I get a report that you miss one of the weeks in paying, we don't have problems. So if you cannot really pay $100 every 2 weeks, you need to let the court know now.
Now I'm trying to get back on my feet, and I think, but if I have a problem or something, like I have health issues, I mean, can I call and let y'all know that? I mean,
no, see, here's the thing. Your agreement that you all have made, regardless of what health issues you have, is that you're going to pay $100 every 2 weeks, because there's somebody out there, and I'm not the one who took this plea because this was before my time, but there's somebody out there that you owe $78,000 to. So you agreed, and your attorney agreed, that you are paying $100 every 2 weeks. So there is no, well, maybe something may come up. You've agreed that you would pay $100 every 2 weeks. That's why I'm asking this. If you are telling the court, actually, I'm not going to be able to pay $100 every 2 weeks, I was saying that, hoping that I would be able to do it, because this is the only way where maybe the state would agree not to revoke. I don't know. I'm not a part of your negotiations. But if that's the fact, you probably need to step back and talk to your attorney, and you all actually come up with a reasonable amount that you are going to be paying, no questions asked. And it should be amount that you should pay, not depending on this person giving you money or that person giving you money, because we're going to be right back here, because they're going to file a motion to revoke if you miss any of those payments. So do y'all want to step back and discuss that, or y'all want to continue with she's going to be able to pay $100 every 2 weeks?
$100 every 2 weeks.
All right. So you're saying, and you're telling the court, you're telling probation that you're going to pay $100 every 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
And when is this going to start?
And it started in 2 weeks, Your Honor.
When's her next pay period?
When's your next paycheck?
Maybe next paycheck. I get paid every Wednesday.
All right. So this is her first payment, then is going to be, since you get paid Wednesday, is that electronic deposit maybe, or no? All right. So her first payment, she's going to be making payments on December 7th. That should be her first payment of beginning every 2 weeks. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And since she gets paid on Wednesday, her payments should be falling on that Thursday, because she has to get the check, go cash the check, and do all of that. All right. I'll deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions to include $100 payment every 2 weeks, beginning on December 7th. And that's to go towards restitution. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. Her case expired September of this year, so that 1 year extension, are you going to move forward with that?
Yes, extend for 1 year.
I would also like to bring up to the court that we have notification that Ms. Padilla has not reported since September, so I would ask that the court admonish her and ask her, tell her to report as necessary.
Okay, why are you not reporting?
Well, on when I got arrested, I received a text, and then I got a warrant, and then I went to go talk, because they told me I needed to get an attorney or for my bond. So when I went to talk to him, and then I have the text where my probation officer texted me that I had an appointment yesterday, which I went in yesterday, and she even sent me for a for tomorrow. And I go, why wait for tomorrow? So I went yesterday to go get a UA too.
All right, here's the thing. Don't miss reporting. You understand?
No, ma'am.
All right, so I'm assuming you're required to report monthly. When do you want her to show up to report?
I'll look at the appointment book to see if it's already been put on the books for next
All right,
month.
so she's going to give you a date when you to report, and you need to report. Don't miss any reporting dates. Here's the thing. Sometimes miscommunications happen. I've already said that I'm going to continue you, so there's no need for us to go back and forth.
Yes.
As my grandmother would say, who shot John? Here's the thing. She is going to give you a date for when you report. You need to make sure you report on that date. Even if you're saying you've already reported, if she gives you a different date, you need to go report on that day. If you do not, what will end up happening is a motion to revoke will be filed. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. And then I saw in the motion to revoke this new number 1 that nobody's going on. What is happening with that?
So, Your Honor, one that is out of county. The investigation that I've done, I don't believe it was more serious than a Class C misdemeanor. So I don't expect anything to come up. We'll certainly keep an eye on.
All right. And is there any issue with her and UAing?
Your Honor, in August, it says it was failure to submit. In September, it was a negative. I don't have anything past September because it was that lapse in reporting. So if she said she UA'd yesterday, those results will not be available until next week.
All right. Did you UA yesterday?
I went yesterday, yes.
All right. Make sure she UA yesterday. If she did not UA yesterday, then we're going to have a problem because people are being dishonest with the court. So if you UA yesterday, she's going to check it. And then from thereafter, do random UAs.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Is there anything you need from the court to be successful in this probation? All right. Do not leave Bexar County without permission. Because you're on probation, everything you do, you need to pick up the phone and call probation and request it.
Okay.
Could you waive the UA fees, Your Honor? Is that possible?
No.
As the hearing enters its final stage, the judge turns the discussion toward financial responsibility. She questions the defendant about her ability to make the required payments, seeking a realistic answer rather than a promise made simply to avoid immediate consequences. The exchange emphasizes the importance of honesty and accountability when making commitments to the court. The judge makes it clear that the court expects any payment plan to be based on what the defendant can genuinely afford, rather than accepting vague assurances. She stresses that meeting court-ordered obligations requires consistent follow-through and personal responsibility. Before concluding the case, the judge carefully outlines the conditions the defendant must continue to follow. She delivers a final warning that compliance with every court order is essential and that future violations could lead to more serious consequences. The expectations are explained clearly, leaving no room for confusion about what is required going forward. With that, the hearing comes to a close after a series of tense and revealing courtroom moments. If you found this courtroom breakdown informative, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more real courtroom content, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.